Let's head to Michigan now, another state which could be crucial in deciding who wins this presidential election. The latest polling averages from Decision Desk HQ show an incredibly tight race there, with former President Trump leading Vice President Harris by less than a point. Michigan is part of that blue wall that has been so important to Democrats. But now there are growing concerns among the party that Arab Americans and a third-party candidate could crack that wall. So let's bring in correspondent Robert Sherman, who is live for us in Michigan. And Robert, the Trump campaign is now trying to zero in on making gains with Arab American voters.
Yeah, without question, Nichole, a cornerstone of the Trump campaign strategy has been to expand their electorate and court voters that, frankly, Republicans haven't even bothered to pursue in recent years. But this week, there's been a heavy emphasis on going after Arab American voters and the votes that may be within some of those communities. This week, we've seen the former president hitting Vice President Kamala Harris over her support from Liz Cheney, who he's called a war hawk, and has been touting, even at his rally in North Carolina last night, that he believes he's going to make significant gains in this demographic. This is what he had to say. Take a listen.
She's in free fall with Arab and Muslim voters. Now, in Michigan, did you notice that my poll numbers are very good with the Arab voters? Did you see that? My poll numbers are very good. I appreciate it. You know why? You know why they're? Because I want peace in the Middle East.
And some of the polling numbers that we're seeing seem to support that. You look at this one study of Arab American voters, the former president actually edging Vice President Kamala Harris, 45 to 43, with Jill Stein back there, the Green Party candidate, in third, distantly. I would also bring your attention here to some of these communities that we see here in Michigan. There was a big push during the Democratic primary in protest of the war that's currently taking place overseas right now. Over 100,000 people here in Michigan voted uncommitted in protest of the war that's been ongoing. Well, the mayor of this community that we're in right here today actually endorsed former President Trump because of those concerns over the war overseas right now. That's something that's going to be very key to watch over the next couple of days to see exactly how this all shakes out electorally. Nichole?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the mayor endorsing the former president there. So, Robert, in your report, we saw that graphic. We saw Jill Stein on there. How do third-party candidates like Jill Stein play into all of this?
Well, here's the thing, Nichole, is that we've seen Jill Stein very specifically be outspoken on this one particular issue, vocalizing that she believes that the Democratic Party has left behind Arab American voters. You see her at 4% right there. That doesn't sound like a lot, but I'd like to put that into context for a second. You go back to 2016, Donald Trump carried the state by about 10,000 votes. Jill Stein was on the ballot in 2016. She got about 50,000 votes in that election cycle. But it just goes to show that in a state such as Michigan, which is expected to be decided by the margins, all of these votes, whether they vote Republican, Democrat, or in this case, vote third party, can make a huge difference here in determining who gets those 15 electoral votes. Nichole?
Absolutely, because things are so close. All right, Robert Sherman live for us there in Michigan. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.